So in the past few months, I've been trying to challenge myself when I make figures. Let's say the really weird proportions of Fat Thor, or the really perplexing design of Iron Patriot's new armor from Endgame. Or we can even say the shading work that went into armored Batman to make him look decent and good. So this time, as one of you guys commented, I make 6-armed Spider-Man. So I thought of making the better version of 6-armed Spider-Man, which is Doppleganger. He appeared in one comic in the 90s and then reappeared and is currently reappearing in the Absolute Carnage storyline. So this is it. Here I present to you about 2 days of working, and this is how it went through. Now, like I explained in my Iron Spider action figure video, I usually get a bunch of reference pictures, you can say, for my figures. For this one I got 2. One from the comics and one from basically the Marvel Hasbro series line action figure, which was released in 2018. These two, I think 2018, I'm not sure. These two I'm going to be using to take some pointers off. First of all, the symbol I don't really like, so I'm going to go with something a little bit more spread out and I guess menacing in this sense. The thing is, if you change up your action figures, you get a more original vibe, like they belong to you. The design, if you edit it a little bit, it just gives that more original feeling. I'm not trying to say that you steal designs from other people. I mean, you can do that, but don't pass them off as your own. That's just plagiarism. I might do something like this. I like this one more. Now that I've gotten a basic idea of what I'm going to do with the symbol, these are the edits I'm making. I'm going to do one more thing. The eyes, I don't like them either. Even though the design has a really iconic set of eyes, I'm just gonna sketch out a little face here. And I'm going to give it thinner eyes, more akin to Venom. Or I might just do those eyes like this, something a little bit more reminiscent to this one, but combined with the thinner eyes of Venom. Now that all that's done, time to plan the wire skeleton of the figure, which is going to go under it. And if you want to know how to make a basic one, I'm going to put a video link somewhere up here, or it's going to be in the description. So usually my wire skeletons go like this. For this one I'm going to have to change it up a little bit. After making the skeleton, I would have to bulk this place up with foil, because that's what MCU sticks best on, and it gives the figure a little bit of lighter tone. I mean, it makes it lighter to pick up and all that, plus less MCL is used. Secondly, on the inside, I'm going to attach 4 or 2 more wires in order to get 4 arms. Now, on the back of the figure, let's say this is the back, these 2 points, which are going to be almost closer to the 2 arms I'm attaching, I'll attach 2 more wires where the last 2 set of arms are going to be. Basically, they'll extend out from the back, almost going over the top of the other 2 arms. Now that all the basic planning and the rough sketching of the figure's gonna go, how the figure's gonna go out is done, let's move on to the cutting board. Now it's finally time to work on the wire skeleton I was talking about. Here's the really basic one I made. Here's a clearer picture, I guess, out of wires. Again, video link in the description. If you want to watch that, you can go down there. Now I'm going to extend this from some points. First of all, the legs are going to be longer, so let me get some wire. Okay, so I have 2 pieces of wire here. Now let's begin extending the legs. It's a really basic process. I'm going to do one of them on camera, the one off camera, and I'm going to be using the extra wire which comes off the leg again, this is another point. This is how you thicken up your wire skeletons and make them tougher. This one goes under the leg, around the torso, so that you have something like this. There's the base wire. Looks a little messy, but you can fix it up because it's wire. You can just bend it in any way you want. I'm going to increase the hips of this guy a little bit more, because he's going to have a really bulky torso and really thick legs. Now once I twist this around, it goes down, and to extend the legs, I'm basically going to increase the calf and then fold it down here to where I want the foot to legitimately bend. Once I've done that, I take a loop There's the foot. And now I just twist this around the whole foot. I'm going to do the other leg off camera now. Now that all that is done, I'm going to take another wire, a proper long wire, and create some arms for this guy, which are going to go off from the torso on this plane. So let's do that. Whoa, this thing, honestly speaking, turned out better than what I had expected. It turned out great. I mean, it's messier than what I had expected, but I like it. The messier it is, the better the MC sticks onto it. Fact, the more you know. Now, these two arms, the longer ones, which are longer than these four, they'll extend back or fold back. That is the reason now. Because they'll go back, it will be easier for me to sculpt these four arms and the torso. And once I need to pull them forward, I can just fold them forward, therefore making articulation better, sculpting easier, and overall my job less of a pain. All that aside, this thing is again big. Let me give you an example. Here's a resculpted Iron Man I'm working on, and this thing is large as compared to him, like Iron Patriot levels of large. Now for sculpting, I'm going to be using Fevicryl molded. It's an epoxy compound, as you can clearly read the fine print, which comes in two components, a resin base and a hardener. Once they're combined in equal quantities, they form this white clay type of substance, which you can basically put onto any surface, which is, I guess, porous, not even porous, has texture. Gloss doesn't really work, it kind of laminates off of it. Ignoring that, alongside these, I'm going to be using a few sculpting tools. The most random ones I can grab right now, I'll show. Okay, shoot. What else? Yeah, so not going to be using this. I'm going to be using this one for, I guess, creating creases and web patterns and muscle patterns throughout the whole figure. This will be used for taking out excess of M-seal and, you know, smoothing the whole thing out. And I don't know why I took this out. And this one, you know, it's the cutter. What do you expect? Cutter is one of the most universally amazing tools you can ever have in your sculpting arsenal. If you don't have not expensive, if you don't have moderate, normal sculpting tools, cutter and a toothpick are your best friends. And if you want to make some makeshift ones, take a piece of ivory sheet, put some tape around it. That works best. I used to do that before I had my sculpting tools. Now, the reason I use Fevicryl molded is because I'm actually really used to it. Plus, it's easier for me and really cheaply available. Other stuff like polymer clay, not available in my area. Hair drying clay is just way too much for me to work with. Plus, it dries too fast. This just works right. Without any further ado, let's begin with the sculpting. it's officially the next day. Wait, let me just... Yeah, that makes more sense. Now, this figure, I worked a lot on it last night. I added a few changes on sculpting. First of all, I recorded the stuff on camera. It was the torso, legs, and these two sets of arms. The head symbol and these pairs of arms were done off camera because, come on, that's just way too much work for me to do in this space sitting in one pose. Before I go into the painting, I'm going to do some editing and changing onto this guy. I'm going to take a cutter and slice these nasty chunks of M-Seal off, and then take a Dremel tool and just smooth them to the point where they actually look normal. Let's go with that now. Now that all the Dremel stuff is done and it's all smoothened and looks a little bit more presentable, I'm going to be getting onto the painting part using this reference picture with a more brighter red and a darker blue. I like that contrast overall. For that I'm going to be using a fairly little line of paints. Let me just... For the darker red, I'm going to be mixing two shades, mostly magenta and pearl. I think pearl magenta, I believe so. Then we have blue and a little bit of gunmetal alongside the white, which I'm just going to be using normal white for the teeth and the eyes. And the brushes are again pretty basic. I'll use a thick brush for the first two coats, a thinner brush for all the nasty stuff like the eyes, the symbol, and finally a super fine lined brush which... Nope. There it is. A fine liner brush for painting the web patterns. Let's begin. Oh my god. So I did some stuff off camera, like painting the eyes, teeth, webs and the spider symbol, and it took me 1 hour, 1 complete hour to paint just the webs. This was very annoying to make, but the result is pretty good. Now, because this guy is 6-armed, there's a lot of articulation. So I'm just going to do one arm for like both the arms. This arm can go out that far, and in this far there's a bend at the elbow. Can technically go up this far. There's a 360 also, but there's a chance of me breaking the wire. Next, this arm can go down this far and up this far. Bend at the elbow is pretty limited because of the sculpting, and can go back that far and front this far. You can also like rotate 360, that's the thing. These arms, these special set of arms coming out of the back, they can actually swing forward and swing back. So that's another point of articulation. Along that, you have the rotation of the axis and the bend at the knee, bend at the elbow. Pretty basic, but pretty nice. The head can look up that far and down that far. There's no rotation because of these shoulder blades, or I guess shoulders. Yeah, pretty much. Legs can go out that far, back that far, and can also do a proper split, because a Spider-Man action figure needs to be properly articulated and very, very flexible. There's a bend at the knee, which is limited because of the thick calves this guy has, and the foot can do that. Now, because this guy has 6 arms and 4 of them have peg holes for me to put in accessories, I forgot to do these 2 arms. Really regretful about that. I can do this. Yep, he can hold a bunch of stuff, mostly weapons and accessories. Captain America's shield, Batman's spear, a random hook knife I made, and this, again, a random crossbow gun I made. Now, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed and liked what I do, you can subscribe or like the video. I've been getting really good criticism and feedback for my videos recently, and I like that, so keep on with that. Suggestions, I'll take them if they're nice, but don't force suggestions in the comments. I read all the comments, by the way. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Bye bye.